Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. It's a very cool day in Lagos. I guess I should also, I guess I'll have to say it, Happy Workers' Day. Although sometimes you say these things because they are sort of formulaic. Workers are not very happy. I think that goes without saying. In fact, you look at some of the papers, you see that workers are actually lamenting hardship, and indeed, one of the papers goes as far as score Buhari and governors very low on welfare. None of it is really news because it is what it is. Inflation has been what it is. Insecurity. There was a lull in the middle of the elections. You remember when there was a shortage of cash. There was also there was a lull in banditry and kidnapping. But one of the things we'll be looking at today, in fact, I'll be looking forward to your calls on the matter. Maybe we're just going to do this between ourselves. I'll be looking forward to your calls on the matter. The fact that there is a resurgence now of armed banditry as well as terrorism, and I suppose, yeah, that does include kidnapping. So with the return of money, people heaved a sigh of relief. It's not only honest people that said that, okay, now we can go back to business. That increasingly, maybe it's not their fault, but there's this increasing, how does one put it delicate now, impotence of the Nigerian security architecture. Because what you find is that these ne'er-do-wells, the robbers, the terrorists, the kidnappers, are operating almost at will. And, they seem to be running circles around the security apparatus. There are problems all over the place, as a matter of fact. It's not as if there's nothing to be happy about, but let's talk about these ones. In Lagos, southwest of the country here, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is what it is, a nightmare. The Minister of Works, Babatunde Raji Fashola, put out a statement that, well, bear with us. Things are quite far gone, and even though it was supposed to, but everybody who has to use that road, it's been a nightmare. People have spent up to 6-8 hours on the road, traversing no more than something like maybe, if they're lucky, 2 miles, and then later on it picks on again. So we have our situation. We have our situation. It's not impossible. In fact, Nigerians are hopeful. In fact, the incoming administration is talking about renewed hope. So there shall be a lot on their plate when the time comes, much as the current administration has really tried its best. As Mr. President said, he's done his best, in the circumstances, and it is still what it is. Oh, Reverend Dominic.
Not say that.
Let's say it. Let's say it. Let's be positive. Happy Workers' Day.
Yeah. Yes. At least we are alive.
I trust a man of faith to always find a positive side to any situation.
Yes, we are alive. Maybe I should will make it better. I have like the topic you brought this morning. We talked about it last week. If you are listening to me, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
It pains me every day when you talk to the spokesperson of this government. It's additional. And it tells you that the security of today is better than yesterday. It's a thing of pain and shame and tears come out of your eyes. So I said here 2 weeks ago, I don't believe the report that comes from Kaduna and Benue. Why? I said maybe there's a media hype. Why do you wake up every morning, 40 people, we lose all the whole family? It's sure we're still in Nigeria every day, every week, in Benue, in Kaduna. I say, does it happen or they're making it up? But when we talk to our brothers there, this is reality. Some families are not at home. So I want to use this media because they listen to us. I had the other day have postponed census. That's a wise thing.
Oh dear.
Benefit. I live in Nigeria. If that's what came to you, 18 local governments in Benue State. There are 22 local governments, 18 out of 23. No place to stay. Census is house census and human number. So how to count a man in IGB camp? Where do he live? Thank God have postponed it. Thank God for that. That means there's good sign coming out by the government. Number two, let's put that security because they give it to Sudan. Nigeria exercise their power military-wise. We're talking about security here. We can't intimidate Amobas. We can't intimidate bandits. We can't intimidate Boko Haram. We Nigerian soldiers. It means that we cannot intimidate the soldiers in Sudan as African giants. And we need our people there through our efforts. And look at it. India has done it.
I beg your pardon, Reverend. Reverend, you know what? The line is getting a bit garbled. It's not.
Oh, sorry.
So it's getting a bit garbled. So I'm going to have to just continue here. If you can, Reverend Dominic, maybe you could dial back again and get in again. Maybe it will sort of clear it up. But I think we've been able to make out what you were saying. But it was getting progressively worse. But thank you very much for calling in. See if you can call back in. Maybe it'll be better. Reverend Dominic was related to the resurgence, terrorism that we were talking about. And he was noting that it's spiked. The Northwest, it has spiked there. Ondo, Katsina, Niger, and Kaduna. These are some of these Reverend Dominic mentioned. These are just among others. It's just come back again. The only reason, therefore, was that there was no cash, so the robbers knew it was an impossible task for them, and so it looked like somehow things were getting better. But good morning, Mr. George. Happy Workers' Day, as we say.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Uncle Yori, permit me to disagree with the grievances of the workers.
Okay, how do you mean?
The reason being that the workers themselves have been complicit in the maladministration performance of our elected leaders in our country. Look at the rate of oil theft. Is it not workers that are there? What have they done to arrest oil theft that brings less revenue to the government? Look at the rate of corruption in our public service. How many times have workers raised any issue? It is the workers that the public elected officials use to loot money from our coffers. As long as they have their own aspect of it, they don't speak. Now they are rating the government low. Let me give you a scenario, Uncle Yori. The Supreme Court asked Governor Ministry of Central Bank to release money to Nigerians who were suffering. The governor refused to obey. But when the workers came out, the same way the workers would have done when things are going wrong. But they will keep quiet as long as they themselves are individually benefiting from the rot. So coming out on May Day to start condemning the same government when they are part and parcel of what is wrong, I'm sorry, they cannot gain sympathy from somebody like me. Let them sit up and become a force to reckon with in the good governance of our country. If the workers tell our elected leaders that you must do well, the elected leaders will do well. So they have power that they have not agreed or they have refused to use. On the security situation, Uncle Yori, the same thing applies. If you look at the root, I always like to address the cause of something before you address the effects. It's when cause that you can cause. What is the cause of the so-called insecurity in the country? Is political instigations. Some are instigated by others in order to outdo other people. And then our people will be suffering. It's the common man that will be suffering. As the new government is coming, I want to urge the president-elect to take a hard look at our security architecture. There is no accountability on the money we spend on arms. Nobody checks. The money that was voted, where are the arms? We are told we have 12 Tucanos. And bandits are all over the country. And we are aware that one Tucano can eliminate banditry in 6 states. If we have 12, How come that they are all over the place and we don't have any? So because of a lack of accountability, this insecurity is just who and who are the kidnappers. People know about these people. They are not hidden. So security should be a top priority. But just crying about it without doing something cannot bring about a solution. Okay. And the government alone cannot do it. People like workers, let them stand their ground and do what is expected of them. If they say Nigeria will be good, Nigeria will be good. But the attitude of take it and then you say you blame another person for the fault, we will not take that one. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. An interesting, if controversial position there, but I like it because what Mr. George from Ikeja, his positioning is that, look, whether it is inadvertent or otherwise, we, the Nigerian worker, the Nigerian citizen, effectively, we're the architects of our own problems because we don't have a zero, we're not just disciplined enough, is what he's implying, and so we don't own it. I think I heard back in the day when President Buhari was talking about we should own it. What Mr. George is saying in there is that we've not owned our country yet. We let the things that we complain about, we let them happen. We don't come out. And he cited, which I think is instructive, he cited that, look, when the time came and everything was going to collapse, did money not come out? Did we not get our money? We're not talking about any grant or loan. It was our money. We didn't quite know why they had seized it, but it was what it was. So, as I said, it could be quite controversial and interesting. Maybe I'll see what other viewers think about the position of one of our viewers, that the Nigerians themselves allow it. Reverend Mazi Okoroafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Yori, that's Comrade Mazi Patrick Okoroafo from Arochukwu in Abia State.
Comrade Okoroafo.
Comrade Mazi Patrick Okoroafo.
Comrade Mazi, your Happy Workers' Day.
Okoroafo, yes. Happy Workers' Day. God bless you, sir. Well, it's a pleasure that today is Workers' Day and also being St. Joseph Workers' Day. St. Joseph, that's the patron saint of all the workers, the whole world. Now, let's come back to what is happening in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Now, you ask yourself, Nigerian workers, pensioners, what is happening with the governors? Governors will come, run to Abuja, collect money and come back, pay the workers who will not pay to accumulate. And pensioners will not give them their stipend. I call it stipend. You see, there is a lot of stealing, people call it corruption. People enter the office, they would like to steal. Now, let us ask ourselves, all these men and women that are due for retirement, they will go back to their human resource department and change their age. Somebody is above 70, will go back and be changing to 49. Depriving young graduates. Honestly, it's very, when I see people coming to photocopy something near our office, I start laughing. They go to court, whether they go to court or magistrate, I don't know where they go, they type, stamp everything. They are changing their age. Now, when you change your advance on me, which office is your son coming to take over? You have replaced your son already now. Your son will graduate, you will not have a job. And you that are supposed to go, even the funniest thing that those people that are supposed to go on retirement, even to climb staircase and enter the office, it's a problem. Because there are two needs office, which is, please, if you know that you are due for retirement, please go. Don't go and change because you are bringing a cost to yourself, bringing a cost to the family. That's your son or daughter will not get a job. That's it. Now, you ask yourself, employer of labor, whether all these people are even Nigerians too. You will employ somebody to come to work for you from 7 o'clock till 7 p.m., sometimes 8. If you pay that person 8,000 naira, 10,000 naira a month, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even Saturday, they will close. What with the person? So the person will spend 5,000 naira, remaining 3,000. Now, there are some places you come now, even the workers in the state level, or even the local government is the worst. When they come there, they just go and do their business. They say, government have not been paid. They have not been paid at the local government. What happened? That one has entered the zinc carpet. These are the things that, but Nigerian worker, I will just advise you, if you go to the office, Do the work that you know that your conscience. Collect the salary, their own allowance, leave the one that belongs to others, not to steal and go. When you steal and go, your own son will not be opportune to be there. And this issue of falsification is not good. Now, we are talking about insecurity. My brother, let me tell you, whether I like it or not, the war, that is the war, whether crisis that is going on in Sudan, is spreading to Africa. Whether we like it or not. 2013 was the establishment of that support group going on. 2013, those groups now fighting back. I was watching the thing where the current president, the military junta, and Sisi of Egypt, they were dying and whining. That was a few days ago, before this thing happened. Now, we are going to Egypt to cover and put in that. You see the problem. Now, inside Sudan, it's another problem. By the time the crisis spread, the elimination, they have destroyed it like Terrorism. It's happening. You don't need prayers on this issue. When it happens like South Australia, those boys will spread. Where are they going? To come to areas where to hire them as criminals, coupled with the political stuff which we have already created in states by so-called people who want to stay in the government with their own choice. And those political talks with those who are coming, you are making the state go. How will business progress? Let us face reality, because the area we take measures and solve that problem is better for us. But Mr. Yori, as before, insecurity is not one-man show. Insecurity in Nigeria, it is not gunmen or men gun, according to my son. These things are terrorist work. As long as insecurity are going, you cannot. Do you know in Nigeria that they put Indian ham inside food and prepare and give their friends to eat? After eating, they go haywire. What is the enter stealing? They enter into court.
Okay.
That is why I go to the University of Nigeria now. Lecturer is going haywire. Good morning. Happy Workers' Day. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Yeah, you did spend a bit of time there, but then I was sort of making up for those times that I have held you up, when I couldn't do anything about it. So thank you very much for calling in. You touched a number of bases there, and I'd really like to hear. I don't know, you sort of addressed it, but I'd like to hear what our first caller, George in Ikeja, what he actually put it back on the people, the citizenry, that the citizenry is too tolerant of the things, corruption especially. We don't come out and protest and put our foot down, as you might see elsewhere, that this it's gone so far.
Yeah, happy Workers' Day, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You see, Yori, yes, happy Workers' Day. The last caller said something that I think I should buttress on. He says that there are some people due for retirement, and then they went ahead and changed their ages and all that. Yori, do you know why? Why are they doing that?
Poverty,
yes, apart from that.
No, it's because there's nothing. There's nothing to fall back on.
Exactly, that is what. But another thing is this: when you know that you serve for 35 or 40 years in service, and then after you fall back on, you are not sure of it. I think, Mr. You remember the Mainai saga. Today, as journalists, can you tell Nigeria where the issue is now? The Mainai saga that they tell Mainai to be able to monitor this pension issue. At the end of the day, what happened? Nobody in this country knows where Rashid Mainai is now. And then we don't even know where the case lands. So that is why some workers and then some old people that are supposed to leave the system, they were not changing their age because they are not sure after the war. They don't know where they are going to get. That is number one. Number two, you see, Yori, Nigerian citizens, I expect much more change from President-elect. And then by this month, it will become a substantive president of this country. We expect a high change. Why am I saying that, Yori? You see, this now, the president-elect have already talked to Labour during the campaign that whether I like it or not, I'm going to remove this subsidy. No matter how protected you are, I'm going to remove the subsidy. But the question is this. The Labour now says that, now I heard it on news last week that Labour was like, you should not remove the subsidy now and all that. Why are they saying so? Because this subsidy of a thing, we are just giving it to a few people. And then the president-elect already made it more that he's going to remove it. But what Labour people need to do now is that they should be able to demand the palliative that the government is going to put in place. How are they going to make sure that this palliative gets to where it's supposed to get to?
Yeah, but of course you know, sorry, Mr. Yakub, of course you know that that particular ball has been kicked down the road.
You see, even though if the incoming government remove this subsidy, and then I don't know how Ashwat Bola is going to it. The palliative that he said, the palliative the government wanted to put in place, Chief Yori, it is going to be hijacked by the politicians in the grassroots. The people that need palliative, they are not going to get it. That's why I said that the Labour people need to demand. What is the criteria they are going to use to make sure that Nigerian citizens are not suffering? Because if the subsidy removed, don't be surprised we are going to buy the petroleum price at rate of 500 if it is not more. So in that case, everything will skyrocket and going up. So what is Mr. President-elect, incoming president, he needs to talk to Nigeria. I want President-elect to be changed. The kind of how he's going to address the Nigerian city. During his government in Lagos State, I could remember when the bomb blast happened in Lagos State. As what Bala met, during that very particular day, everybody was panicked. The governor, that time, as what Bala said, will just appear in television and begin to calm us down. Everything just calms down. And even those people suffer. That very particular time. So I need President-elect to be embarrassed.
All right.
Nigerian citizens,
okay.
not be saying you go abroad and talking to us. I want him to address Nigerian citizens.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yakub, for calling in. And indeed, stay with us, please, as I take this quick break. We'll be right back. We'll continue this conversation. It is...
The TVC News at 7 and the TVC News at 10 are not like any other news broadcast.
It's the big news hour, the hour for the big breaking stories.
We've got some of the best reporters on the field,
taking you through as it happens.
It's fast-paced, hard-hitting,
with investigations that matter.
bringing in news that affects your life.
With sport, entertainment and business news, so you don't miss a thing.
Experience resourceful coverage with depth
Every night.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News.
Okay, it's Workers' Day, not just in Nigeria, as a matter of fact, around the world, in most countries of the world. And we've been talking about, well, our situation here. We're working at it. It's still a lot more to be done. And, by the way, the interesting item you saw there, the federal government had withdrawn the permission it had earlier granted to Labour to use Eagle Square. But now that decision has been reversed and indeed has granted organized Labour access to Eagle Square. Such being the case, we'll bring our Jason in exactly what's going on there right now. But we're looking at the resurgence of armed banditry, terrorism, and kidnapping in the country. And we've been hearing from you at home what the situation is, why it appears that there is an impotence in our security architecture. I've heard from some people, they've given us their point of view, but I'm still intrigued by the first caller who thought that we are to blame, that is, we the people are to blame for the sort of casual way in which we look at these things. Is it that we have corruption fatigue? There's so much that is wasted to corruption, so much that is wasted to things like alleged oil theft, which we are hearing that no oil was stolen. But, all kinds of things. They feel the idea of the first caller was that if these things were important enough and if Nigerians reacted dynamically enough, then people would be a bit more cautious. People have brought up the whole matter of pension scheme and Mena, who was in charge at the time, and not really knowing where exactly are we on that. Is he being charged to court? What has happened? Nobody knows. That's the kind of thing the first caller was referring to. But in the meantime, people even talked about this whole shenanigan of reducing your age. There's a thing called government age, and of course there's the one that is on your birth certificate. But people are sort of cutting back their age so they can stay longer in service simply because there's nothing, as they see it, to fall back on. In that connection, Sharon Ijason, I believe it was, that also did a report this and put out on our news yesterday. Let's look at that report about pensions in Nigeria.
Every year, the 1st of May is celebrated as International Workers' Day. The day is set aside to commemorate achievements of workers and spread awareness about their exploitation. In 1889, May 1st was chosen as a date for International Workers' Day by socialist and labor activists to commemorate the A-Market affair in Chicago, United States, and the struggle for an 8-hour working day. In Nigeria, May Day is a public holiday set aside to remind stakeholders about the need to promote decent work. In the quest to find out more about the challenges facing workers in private and public organizations, I discovered that pensioners face more challenges after working for more than 3 decades. I met with Eniola Williams, a former worker of the National Electric Power who served the federal government for 35 years. She shares with TVC News some of the challenges she faced as a retired worker. She wants the federal government and other relevant stakeholders to intervene to enable others like her get their 33% pension arrears, which was approved by President Goodluck Jonathan in 2010.
In 2010, they have not paid us all our pension money. Up to this moment, they have not paid us. And President Jonathan said they should pay us all the money. They pay all other workers, but in NEPA, they have not paid us. We need the money. As I am now, I need that money right now. We should beg them to pay us our money right now.
For many retired workers, to that of Eniola Williams. For the other retired workers, President Muhammadu Buhari and relevant stakeholders in the pension sector must save them from the alleged injustice meted out to them by the Pension Transitional Arrangements Directorate, PTAD.
Since the advent of the current PTAD Executive Secretary, Dr. Chiomane Najikeme, it has never been so bad. We have continued to contact her, send messages, letters, emails, and the rest of it, but all this while, she has never given any clear position as to what is happening to all our pensions, all our entitlements, arrears that is being held up. The federal government should please come in let them check and confirm that we have not been paid this money. They should instruct Peter to pay us our money now. Most of our pensioners are down, but the others have passed on because they couldn't get money to take care of themselves.
What we are now asking our very good government, President Muhammadu Buhari, to do for us is this. Before the expiration of their term, we still have some days. He can order Dr. Ejikeme, Shioma Ejikeme, for immediate payment of all our accrued arrears. That is with that.
From findings, poor conditions of pensioners across the country, over unpaid gratuities and pensions have become common in many of the 36 states. Nearly 2 decades after the contributory pension scheme came into existence through the Pension Reform Act of 2004, many states are yet to come to terms with the new structure.
Some people have left employment for almost 10 years, their tax is not paid, and the owners of these companies are eating fat. So in this dispensation, that's the signal we are sending anywhere. And then for state governments, some of them have become another thing. In Abia, almost 22 months, owing worker salary.
Nigeria is ranked low at 64th position in the Allianz Global Pension Report 2020 due to inadequacy of its pension system. In addition, no African country ranks among the top 10. South Africa ranked 41st, followed by Kenya at 55th and Morocco at 60th position. While the president of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Etim Okun, appreciated President Buhari for the 40% increase in allowance for workers, he advocated for effective implementation of gratuity payment.
We even call it Buhari Alert. It's a 2004 Contributory Pension Act, as amended in 2014, thereabout, did not stop the payment of gratuity. And we put up a position paper to Mr. President, and I can tell you authoritatively that even the government have seen that the gratuity is very important. The Act did not stop it.
The Pension Reform Act 2014 provides that pension should be increased after every 5 years or whenever there is an increase in the salary of active workers, in line with the provision of Section 173 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Senior citizens such as Eniola Williams and other pensioners hope that their pension will be reviewed while their gratuities are restored and all arrears paid.
Okay then. Well, since the federal government has revoked its earlier cancellation of Eagle Square for use, let's cross over to Eagles and see what live activity is going. Speeches time.
All of you, we urge you, despite the difficulties, that you should stand with the Labour Party, on up to the Labour Party, and we promise you there will be a better Nigeria, and a better Nigeria that will be celebrated, where our sweat will not be in vain. As I continue to encourage you and congratulate you for this day, I have to salute the presence of people like Hassan Usmanu, who have toiled in this country, who have struggled to bring this movement where it is. And so I wish you a very happy May Day, and a May Day. Know that we stand, even at the point of difficulty, we stand to celebrate this day so that we will remember our fallen heroes. And so I wish you a happy May Day, and I wish you all the best as we celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that very wonderful solidarity message. Last year, May Day, in our usual tradition, last year we invited and we granted the APC National Chairman the space to give us solidarity message. So it is in our usual manner and tradition to constantly be with people who are people in Nigeria. So thank you very much, the representative of the Nigerian Labour Party. May presence of Comrade BG Olatunji, the National President, National Union of Chemicals, and the GS as well, Comrade J.O. Dada. We say thank you very much for being with us.
Invite Her Excellency Nkoyo Toyo, Chair. Level civil society.
Okay, civil society. Okay.
Who do you call? You see here? Nkoyo, she's calling. How do you call her?
What about the head of service? Is she ready to?
No.
All right, she's going to refine. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you are just joining us, this is May Day 2023 commemoration holding in the beautiful Eagle Square of Nigeria. We said once again, thank you for being with us. May I invite the chair of the Labour Civil Society Forum, Nkoyo Toyo, to give us her message, and immediately from there we'll take straight to the program and then conclude on time to depart from here as well. The chair of the Labour Civil Society, Nkoyo Toyo, please, if you are closer, please come forward. And we're very, very glad. It will take only 2 minutes to give us the solidarity message. We're very, very glad. Sannan za mu shiga wajen ministocin nan nan to kuma mun misa guda biyu nan sai president namu muka doka mu nan shikenan mun gama komai HF zai doka salu mun gama. I have been warned and I will listen. They said I cannot put too much. Sorry.
Great Nigerian workers! Great Nigerian workers!
Great.
I am here on behalf of the other conveners and members of the Labour and Civil Society Front to salute you on this great occasion. We are indeed proud and pleased to be associated with the progress and development of the Labour Union and its work in our country. As you all well know, the last couple of months has been a very difficult time for us as a country, and we have come together recognizing our historical responsibility as those who fought for the return of our country back to democracy, to walk up and stand in good conscience and declare again that our democracy must be rules-based. We cannot run a country where the democracy is based on arbitrariness. So we need to return to those very fundamental rules in our Constitution, in the Electoral Act, in the laws, norms, and values and ethos of our country that define what it is to be a democratic country. The Labour Union represents the ethos of democracy, and so do we in the many comrades before that fought to stand up for this democracy. We have come together in oneness of voice with Labour to speak again at a time like this for our country. Our country is indeed facing quite a lot of challenges post the last elections. It is our desire, our hope, and our urging to see that the institutions that represent democratic governance rebuild this democracy and ensure that it stands. We call on the judiciary, particularly as we move into the space of conflict resolution, to address the crisis of our democracy and to restore our country and its values back to dignity. I therefore salute you all, and I believe that the partnership between civil society and Labour will indeed lead to great greater results in the months to come. Thank you very much, and God bless.
The people united cannot be defeated.
Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we say thank you very much for being with us. At this very juncture, may I have the privilege and honor to invite a true Nigerian who had engraved his name in gold in the history of Nigeria and Africa, the man who is very, very union-friendly, the man who had seen the welfare of the workers as cardinal. And indeed, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for this very wonderful solidarity message, may I have the privilege and honor to invite this very true Nigerian, the Honorable Minister, Federal Capital Territory, Comrade Malam Mohammed Musa Bello, for the solidarity message. Please, let's celebrate this very true Nigerian with all sense of dexterity. Yes, sir. How are you?
Your police are shouting on you.
Welcome, sir. Sir, fine, sir.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, our Chief Host, the Honorable Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Dr. Ngige, the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Her Excellency Pauline Talent, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Ikechukwu Oko, other distinguished federal government officials present here, our very distinguished hosts, the President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajero, and the distinguished President of the Trade Union Congress, Comrade Festus Osifo, our very dear elder statesmen, Comrade, and all the past labor leaders present here today. Our dear comrades, members of all the affiliated unions, great Nigerian workers, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Federal Capital Territory Administration and the entire residents of the Federal Capital Territory and our dear city Abuja, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all to this very, very important occasion of the May Day of the year of our Lord 2023. We in the Federal Capital City are always very proud to host this magnificent gathering of labor leaders and workers from all parts of the country here in Abuja. And I personally feel humbled that today, being the last Labor Day, I will address as Minister of the FCT, we have such a high gathering. I want to assure you that the Federal Capital Territory Administration will continue to be worker-friendly because we believe the greatest assets of any institution or indeed any country is its workforce. And I want to salute the very good and tremendous work done by your past leaders, particularly the immediate past presidents of NUC and NLC. And I pray to grant our new leaders, Comrade Joe Ajaero and Comrade guidance, protection, and above all, tremendous success during the tenure of their office. And finally, I wish us all a very successful May Day celebration. Great Nigerian workers, thank you very much.
Okay then, so we cut into Abuja, and it still will be ongoing. No doubt you'll catch it live and on other stations. But, you know, this is just about where, if I think there are no more calls, if there aren't any more calls, we're going to have to leave it here. Ever optimistic, that's the end for you. And as Reverend Dominic said when he called Ed, we thank God that we are alive, and you can see that there is still hope going by, you know, what all those speakers at the 2023 May Day rally in Abuja, at the Eagle Square in Abuja. And that in itself is an interesting one, because we heard earlier that the federal government has sort of withdrawn the long-standing permission that had been granted to NLC. But then we all see that they have now overridden their own withdrawal. So once more, I guess one should say happy Workers' Day to the workers of Nigeria. I'm going to have to leave it here now. Thank you very much for being with us. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
Following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Do you struggle with having an active and healthy lifestyle due to your busy schedule? Do you find it difficult to make it to the gym? You want to improve your overall health, but don't know where and how to start? Medical experts agree that walking, running, and jogging are amongst the best ways to stay fit and enjoy a great active and healthy lifestyle. What if there was a convenient and affordable way to improve your health, improve your mood, and lose weight right in your own home? Introducing the SportX Digital Compact Treadmill, the compact foldable treadmill that makes being active and losing weight fast and easy. Just unfold it and walk, jog, or run while you watch your favorite programs on TV. And when you're done, just fold it. Digital compact treadmill system complete with a rugged commercial-grade ultra-durable traction belt, large LCD multifunctional display that displays speed, time, distance, calories, and has 12 different exercise programs, as well as a magnetic safety key for added security.
The SportX treadmill has really helped me get back in shape after childbirth. I love it because it's compact and can fit anywhere in the house. And when I'm done, I fold and put it away. Easy peasy.
This is the best piece of equipment for people like me who want to